Hi, everyone. My name is Elle Ristique, and I'm the CEO and founder. I'm here with Roger Keaton, who is our Chief Marketing Officer. And we're delighted to be able to talk today about a problem that's happening in our cashless, contactless world, which is having a disproportionate impact on those who rely on cash-based income. And we're trying to solve that problem by revolutionizing hotels and hospitality through our platform that enables cashless tipping. So to start off, we're going to introduce a product video that we're proud to say we've done, and then we'll go into the rest of our presentation talking about the problem, how our product works, and for those of you who are in business, how this might be able to help you and your employees. Okay.
TipBrightly is the first three-way integrated mobile payment system that combines digital tipping, real-time guest feedback, and business intelligence on a single platform. Now anyone with a mobile phone can leave a tip with instant feedback by simply scanning a QR code. Through the recovery of earnings, we're boosting morale, improving retention, and improving service quality. TipBrightly is fast and easy to use. With just a scan of a QR code, customers can send a tip with Apple Pay, Google Pay, or credit card and send real-time feedback. Here's how it works. You can customize your QR code according to your business branding. You can also customize the feedback question that your customers can answer after leaving a tip. Your feedback will go to the email address you provide when creating your QR code. Here's a look at the tipping page. To accommodate our global partnerships, we have included Spanish and French translations for our European customers. Going through the flow of the tipping process, customers can adjust the tip amount and pay through Stripe with Apple Pay, Google Pay, or credit card. After the tip is processed, they can leave a rating and feedback for their service. All of your transactions and feedback are funneled into our dashboard. Here, you can see transaction history, feedback, payout history, and tips today. You can also download the dashboard information into a CSV for easy reporting. Tipping matters now more than ever. TipBrightly makes cashless tips hassle-free and frictionless for customers. Learn more about how we can be a solution for you at tipbrightly.com or email info@tipbrightly.com.
Okay, great.
Magic review. Hi everyone, I'm Thomas from truthwarrior.site. This is my magic review. Let me share my screen and let's go into members.
Roger, can you hear us? Okay, great. Okay, so let me share my screen. Take us back to our page here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So as we're saying, what we are doing is we are bringing QR codes into the hotel and hospitality industry, and we're enabling those QR codes to people can scan and use that to leave a tip. So just stepping back, we are a Mountain View-based company. Our mission is really about helping the employees to recover those lost opportunities for earnings, while also helping businesses improve their employees' morale, their retention, and to increase service quality all through that. We have developed a solution. It's a patent pending platform that's not just a mobile app that allows cashless tipping, which we'll show you in a few minutes, but it is a platform that integrates 3 services, the tipping, the instant feedback, and then, a dashboard that shows analytics. Right now, we are focused on the hospitality industry, specifically hotels. We're also working with a company. We're working with companies in Canada that are doing food and beverage, including delivery drivers, and cafeteria staff, rentals, and a lot of other companies who have come to us during the pandemic, looking for ways to enable contactless payments. We have been recognized for our solution. Very excited about that. Just a couple months ago, we were awarded an international truly disruptive award, and also recently recognized for our mission, which is helping to reduce the wealth gap. And prior to that, we were at NASDAQ, and just it's great to be able to say that we have been working at this for a few years and being recognized for those efforts. So I'm going to turn it over to Roger, and it's going to put us put this into context.
So how many of us have had that awkward moment when we wanted to tip, but we didn't have any cash? Or you have a large bill and there was no way to break the bill into smaller denominations. But it's a problem, and with ATMs being scarce or high fees to withdraw, it is becoming more of a problem. So currently in the United States, specifically with the hotel industry, there are an average of 900,000 unfilled positions. The industry is really struggling to hire and find staffing. So we all know that low staffing shortages cause a cascade of other unintended consequences. So it creates low morale and motivation. There's decrease in service quality with negative guest reviews. Also, turnover can be as high as 75%, which will result in, again, dissatisfied customers and customer loss.
So here is going into how our product works. As we explained, that it starts with this QR code. TipBrightly generates the QR code, which can be assigned to an individual or a department. And after the QR code is scanned, a customer can verify that employee pay, as the video showed, leaving a tip, and enter in the feedback. So basically what we've done is we've made it fast and secure. It's convenient. Anyone can tip at any time anonymously. And it's customized for business, so it is more trustworthy. It's not like using one of the many payment apps that are just not necessarily not appropriate for hotels. And then our system allows for versatile systems to be used for employees or tip pools. And so we see that tipping is more than transactional, that it is a win-win-win for the service ecosystem, that the guest, the employee, and employer with tipping are all relating. It's relational, and that when you start to enable guests or employees and employers to see the benefit of appreciation, it's a win-win-win. And with guests, as we explained, they will tip more and more often if there's an easier way to tip. And we're seeing that with our customers. For example, the tip is $10 for hotels. We're also seeing that with cashless tipping, a 20 to 30% increase in tips, which is significant. And you can imagine the impact that has for an employee, along with that positive feedback, which we're also seeing, and how that impacts the employer in terms of wanting to stay and being more motivated to deliver good service. And so for the employer, all of that adds up to increased cost savings. And with the cost of an employee being as high as $5,000 of replacing that, they're saving. And now more than ever, it's about not just improving the earnings, which is important, but also just how employees feel. Are they valued? Do they have a way of having their service and efforts recognized? So here's an example. Roger will talk a little bit about how this Anderson, how he received that.
Yeah, thanks, Elsa. This is fantastic. So what happens with the TipBrightly system is that the employee, as well as their manager, get a notification as soon as a tip comes in. And so guests who are tipping are also leaving feedback. So here's an example of Anderson, who received a 5-star service rating on his instant feedback from the guest, who was extremely happy that Anderson changed out the bedding to no feathers, and not once but twice. And they also wanted to make sure that Kimpton, which is the hotel brand, and the ownership, which is IHG, should also know what a wonderful employee they have. So this feedback went directly to the general manager of the hotel. The instant the guest sent in the feedback, and so he was able to recognize Anderson and connect with him that day before the end of his shift. And what a wonderful thing to know that before, the end of the day, before you go home, how many wonderful opportunities you've had to make guest stay more pleasant. It's just a great feeling, and it certainly increases morale, as well as more tips in your pocket as well.
So this is an example. I think it's a testimonial from one of our customers' drivers in Canada, Dan Watkins, who is one of the top earners in terms of with the tipping. And we asked him to just tell us a little bit about how our product has helped him. And he was kind enough to actually record his testimonial. And we want to share that here with you. Oops, can you turn it up, Roger? Maybe you can start it over again. I think it's hard to hear. Hey, Roger, it's hard to hear.
Okay. Yeah, I can't get any louder.
Okay.
I saw my tips increase to hundreds of dollars every month. To get home and shift and see a significant bonus waiting for me in my account. It's pretty great. Even the amount of cash tips I get have increased. Some people see the tip your driver sticker and are encouraged to tip that way. TipBrightly stickers have a QR code on them that customers can scan with their smartphones. The QR code opens a web page that has my name and company name and the logo on it. The fields for payment information are in a review. Another thing that wasn't here before TipBrightly was feedback from customers, which is another nice thing to see when I get home. TipBrightly, in my opinion, reminds customers and us as delivery drivers that the work we do is appreciated and necessary for the company to function. If it really strengthens the fabric of what makes up the business by showing that they care.
Great. Let's do this. Oops, sorry about that. Am I looking at this? Hold on. Okay. Here we are. So just like what Dan was talking about there, here about the impact of cashless tipping, not only in terms of their earnings, but also the feeling that he has about being appreciated by his employer. Here are some customer testimonials that talk about that. In general, hear from David McCartney, who's a hotel GM, about here the impact of increased tips, averaging to a 50-cent to $1 per hour, and that being helpful for the housekeepers and seeing the impact that that's had on their service. And Jess Wilson here talking about how simple and easy it is to implement. With a QR code, they simply, integrate it into signage or collateral, whatever way to make this visible. We all know how QR codes are used now to scan menus, so it's similar in that way. And another shift leader, a supervisor from the same lodge, about the ways in which they're now receiving income, and they had never received that before. So we are working with a range of customers. Mentioned the Appalachian Mountain Club, a lodge up in New England. We're also excited about a partnership that we have with them in New Hampshire. A range of hotels from different brands, including Kimpton, Aloft, home rentals, and increasingly we're excited about hospitality groups and the management companies that have portfolios of hotels, and the impact that we can have on that a group of hotels and being able to scale that way. And most recently, we formed a global strategic partnership with Charme and Caractère, which is based in France and has 800 hotels across in 80 countries. So we're excited for that to be rolled out in this coming year. So anything else to add there, Roger? We're excited to be able to share this with you. And if you have any questions, you can contact us through our website, or also email us at info@tipbrightly.com. And I think we're going to open up to questions, and we can do this through the chat.
I would just say thanks so much for listening today and watching. And the one thing I would share is that so far this year, we have processed over $30,000 in tips. So that's real money going into the pockets of real people. So this system does work, and we'd be more than happy to speak to you further about that.
Yes. Yeah, how could we forget the actual numbers? Yeah, it's exciting, I think, to be on the other end and see the tips come through, and knowing every time a tip is sent that has a real direct impact on an individual's financial health. And so we're very excited about the kinds of customers who are coming forward, and we're certain that we'll be able to make an impact in the coming months and years. So the number we hope to increase to 6 digits by the end of the year, and we're getting there. Okay, so how do we open up to chat? So we're looking at your screen, Roger. Can we exit that?
I don't see any questions right now.
Okay.
Well, I can see a couple questions. I can read them too. One of the questions is, how does a visitor provide a tip if you don't know the name of the employee?
Okay, I'll take that one, Roger.
Yeah.
So you don't need to know the name of the employee. It's the employer or the business that implements the system. And so when they implement, each QR code is assigned to the employee on the back end. So you as a customer, a guest in a hotel, would simply see the QR code and scan it. So for example, if it's a housekeeper, a room attendant in a hotel, that QR code would be left in the room with a message. Thank you for visiting us. If you'd like to express your appreciation, you're happy with our service, please scan the QR code. And then when the QR code is scanned, then that housekeeper's name it pops up. And so that's all happening with the implementation of the system. And that tip, if that got glossed over, that tip goes directly to that employee and right away, I mean, 1 to 2 days. So it really acts as cash. It is safe and secure, and that's how all the employees would be identified, is through their unique QR code. So I'd have one, Roger would have one, you would have one, and that's how the name, you don't have to know their name.
Yeah, so there's another question that I was wanting to ask. So I've been seeing more and more, there's folks who, maybe you're at a food stand and they have like their Venmo QR code listed. Like, is that something you guys have been feeling like you're competing against? Or, how does that kind of work? And how do you differentiate yourself from someone kind of using their Venmo QR code?
Can I take that one, Roger? And then you can add, so let me just say essentially how we differ from Venmo. So one, you can definitely use TipBrightly in that sense for a tip, and you need not display your handle. And so the big difference is that it is anonymous. So when that transaction happens, it can be anonymous. I don't have your handle, you don't have mine. That's one difference. The other is that you don't need to download a mobile app. So Venmo, Cash App, the other pyramid apps require that. And so that's one of the second differences. And then third is that, when if you use Venmo, it's just a general tip and it's just transactions. With TipBrightly, if you're a vendor and you want to be able to track your tips by day or event, our system allows for that. So those are the three main ones that I always talk about. Roger, do you want to add anything to that?
The only thing I would add again is our system allows for the instant feedback. So you have it, the customer has a chance to leave a service rating and a little a box to enter some specific comments. So again, that's trackable as well. And the other guys don't have that option. So.
Oh, and one other, it's the branding, right? I think I mentioned that, but we allow for a dynamic tipping page. And so if you are a vendor or business and that QR code is yours, you can go into your dashboard and change the name of the event, of whoever might be using it, but location, if you have different markets, for example, it could be at the Palo Alto one, the Los Altos one, and it would actually display on the QR code. And that's not something one can do with the downloadable app. So we're faster, we're more versatile, we offer more value.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for sharing with us today. I really appreciate you being here, and it sounds like a great idea. We'll certainly think about how we can have the chamber integrate it more at our staff too. So thanks.
Yeah, it's more than an idea. It's actually happening. Yeah. So thank you so much, Leslie. You can find us on tipbrightly.com.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Leslie.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, Leslie. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.